It's Jeff Kia here with Nick Jethwa of IFED, and we've got a couple questions here. I love that you're able to join us here in London at the Insurance Fraud Investigators Group here in the UK. A couple quick questions for you, Nick. We see more and more complex criminal models, ghost broking, crash for cash, that kind of stuff. From your vantage point, what is the most evolving fraud tactic that gives you the greatest concern right now?
So Jeff, I think a couple of things that I've seen is ghost brokers training other ghost brokers. We've seen this more recently where a ghost broker will sell their skills and their knowledge on social media and then take a percentage cut of the ghost brokers that they have trained to commit their fraud and criminality. Now this is a real issue because we need to try and tackle this at source. Also what we're seeing is AI. So we've had a couple of investigations where the defendant has used AI as a defence. Now UK policing is working hard to keep on top of AI and how we use that evidentially. But for that particular case, we had to very quickly get an expert around AI to disprove their defence that is actually not their voice being used when they were engaging with the insurance company. Yeah. We see a number of trends, particularly around crash for cash, which is evolving. So we see a lot of organised crime groups who target innocent members of the public to create these crash for cashes. Equally, we're targeting those organised crime groups. So if we can try and tackle it at source, we are disrupting that network and actually restricting the criminality and the illicit finances they're gaining to fund other criminality.
Ah, perfect. We see a lot of the same problems here over in the States. Yeah. Partnership is central to IFED's role in your operational model with insurers, agents, etc. Can you share a recent example of a private and public example where it was a good case?
Yeah, absolutely. So IFED, as far as I'm aware, is the only department in the world that has a true private-public partnership. We are funded through the ABI and we support all members of the insurance company, not just ABI members. And actually more recently, we had an investigation where we had an individual who we believed was committing the offence of ghost brokering, and we disrupted him by issuing him a cease and desist notice and also looking at his finances. Now we were hopeful that'd be the end of the case. But by working with our partners across the industry, and so not just one insurer, but multiple insurers, we identified that this individual was committing further criminality. So again, we arrested this individual, we interviewed this individual, and we bailed the individual with clear instructions: do not commit any criminality while we seek advice. However, he decided not to listen. Right. And by working with our partners within the industry, we were able to identify further criminality. So therefore, he was further arrested, but this time we locked him up. We didn't let him go and we kept him in custody to go to court the next day. Now, because of the hard work and diligence of both the IFED officers, but also our partners in the insurance industry, this individual had no option but to plead guilty. It was a stone bunker case and he was only sentenced quite recently. Now, as much as I love to sit here and say we locked him up for good in prison, sadly that's not the reality, and they got a suspended sentence. But it was a real case where we worked in partnership with the industry, but just not one insurer, but multiple insurers, but also the Insurance Fraud Bureau to identify what criminality this individual was involved in. Because let's be honest, fraudsters aren't brand loyal. They'll go wherever they can get the money.
Of course. Well, thanks a lot. That was a great story and a good couple of questions. And we'll see you next time.
Lovely. Cheers, Jeff.
Man.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Hey, it's Jeff Kia here with Matt Gillum here at the IFIG annual meeting here in London. Matt, have a couple of questions. Thank you for joining us here on today's podcast for the SIU Today podcast for IASIU. In your experience with fraud investigator associations like the IFB, etc., what are the key success factors that have enabled regional chapters to thrive, and how would this translate to a new Caribbean chapter?
Absolutely. So I think ultimately it comes down to kind of understanding kind of the pain, areas of potential pain relievers, gain creators for a particular region. So understanding kind of the potential kind of problems that they have and where the skills and knowledge and in fact kind of the value of the IASIU can really help those regions take a step up. So I think it is a case of you have through IASIU you've got a whole suite of potential kind of opportunities and resources around kind of education, awareness, training. but it's kind of understanding which of those can really help support the regions to enable them to take a step up and fulfil what they want to do in fraud. So it's understanding the potential region, understanding the potential membership, and then working out how best to apply the resources and opportunities that IASIU can provide.
Excellent. So, like, what obstacles, regulatory, etc., would be prohibitive in establishing a new Caribbean chapter, and what would you recommend to mitigate those challenges?
Again, I think it's a very good question. I think it really comes down to understanding the kind of the region and kind of the potential members and membership that you could have in those regions. And I think kind of overall it's about understanding kind of the levels of maturity.
Yeah.
Obviously kind of IASIU kind of with the kind of the global chapters and particularly the established nature in the US is relatively mature or very mature. It's about understanding which of those kind of areas of experience and kind of like resources work best for maybe kind of more emerging regions that have definitely got the attitude, the aptitude and the willingness to take on board those kind of skills, but applying kind of the best way to use, say, what IASIU can bring through kind of education, etc., to really help them step up. So I think, it's very much around kind of there can be cultural issues in terms of kind of the barriers that are faced locally. So fraud can look different. And I think it's kind of understanding kind of what are the local opportunities or barriers and then seeing how to apply what IASIU can bring.
Perfect. Well, we look forward to hopefully having a new Caribbean chapter sometime soon. And thanks again for joining me today.
Absolute pleasure.
Thanks,
Jeff.
With me here, I have Amy North, the president of the IFIG chapter, the UK chapter. So congratulations on being one of our newest chapters
Thank
here
you.
at IASIU.
Thank you.
And as your leadership as a president.
Thank you very much.
So piggybacking off of that, congratulations, right? This is a milestone in your organization. How do you envision this deeper international alignment, and how does that translate into measurable improvement?
For me, Jeff, it's really, really simple. It's about giving our members and IASIU members access to that, I often use this term, that Rolodex, that international Rolodex, because we talk about collaboration a lot, which is the right thing to do. We talk about fraud not having borders. Our members need access to Europe, Americas. They need access to counter-fraud investigators across the world, and through IASIU we can start to do that. And hopefully other jurisdictions will see what we're doing and get on board, and IASIU will grow even further.
Excellent.
So it's very, very simple. It's good old-fashioned contacts.
Yeah, networking, contacts,
Absolutely,
etc.
just like
right?
we've done today.
So we talked about here all day about the different fraud schemes and how some of them are different here in the US versus over in the UK. How are people, like, at the heart of detection investigation, what are the most critical skills, etc., that will help investigators and develop them, etc.?
There's a couple of things that I look for. It's the nose. Yeah. Does it feel wrong? That gut feeling. Has somebody got that ability to think, actually, this doesn't feel right? And I'm going to ask some questions. Just that mind, that inquisitive mind, and then I'm going to refer it. That's how a lot of us started in these positions. That's how I started. I was good at finding suspect theft claims, vehicle theft claims. It's that nose, because we can teach the legalities of insurance, we can teach processes. But also what's really important for me is having that desire to share the knowledge. So okay, you've got somebody that's got a great nose, they can detect, they can challenge the fraud, but it's really important that they want to share that and empower others. So I've always worked to a way where I've asked my teams to see their colleagues, whether it be in claims, in underwriting, as customers. So when they get a referral in, then actually, if it's a great referral, tell them, educate, go and sit in the teams, get your buddy systems, get your outreach. And we all have a duty to train and grow and nurture the next generation of fraud fighters, whether that be through AI, skills in AI, through that gut feeling detection at FNOL, whatever. We all have a duty to educate the next generation.
Absolutely.
And that's the skill, it's the nose.
Yes. Well, Amy, once again, congratulations on the UK chapter with IFIG.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing you again soon, and hopefully maybe next year in Rome.
Lovely.
Thanks again.
Lovely. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.